Hi there and welcome to the Brad Beyond channel and welcome to my Friday Sews. First of all, I'd just like to start by saying thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating the hashtag Friday Sews. Thank you, Jen. So what have I been doing? Well, I've been making a big bag. It's a scrap bag, put my scraps in. It's just there and it's huge and it's still full of scraps. But I have made a video to show you that bag being made. So I think what I'll do is start off by showing you that video and showing you the making of that bag. Now, I've been having a little bit of a problem with my friend here, Scrap Bag. Scrap Bag has been getting a bit full. It's been overindulging really with, you know, little scrap bits and stuff, and once in a while the slightly larger pieces, and has ballooned as a result. So Scrap Bag I need to do something with. It's gone a bit of a diet really, but all seriousness really, it has got a bit out of hand and I need to do something with these scraps. And I couldn't really think, what am I going to do? They're only small pieces. Just didn't know, some bits really are just only good for throwing really. I shouldn't have kept them, but I really need to go through this bag and decide what I was going to do. Now, I have made a decision on what I could do, because having been watching another channel, which was the Pattern Pouch Nest, which is Anna's channel. She was doing an upcycle project. She was talking about her scrap bag, and her scrap bag that she puts her scraps into is actually she made herself. That's a good idea, and that's when it came to me. I thought, well, actually I could use my scraps from my scrap bag to make a scrap bag. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be quite large. It's going to effectively replace this plastic bag, so it's going to be quite round and a certain amount of height in it, because I'm going to need to be able to fit stuff into it. But hopefully I'll use up quite a bit of these scraps making it. It'll also be made out of material with handles, so it'll be easier to manoeuvre around. This thing's got a hole in it here, starting to fall apart, which is the trouble with plastic bags. So that's the idea, get and cut these scraps up into something that I can put together and make a bag. So let's have a look at that and see how far I've got. So I've got myself a rotary cutter. I've got a cutting mat here and a measure of sorts. That's helped me to get it all squared up. So what I've been doing is I've started going through the scrap bag and pulling out the bigger bits, the pieces that will actually make something that I can use. And then I've actually been cutting them into squares, you know, just little squares, lots of them. So I've got a huge pile of squares all starting to come together now. The reason I decided on squares rather than just being more random is it'll just be easier to sew together. I mean, if you've got stuff that's all different shapes, it makes it a lot harder to make that patchwork sort of effect, isn't it? You know, it's a lot more work involved in the sewing side. So even though it's going to be a bit more work cutting this up into squares, when it comes to sewing together, hopefully it'll be somewhat rather quicker. Now I did cut some triangles up as well, but I'm not sure these will be that easy to use. Okay, it can use up a bit more of the smaller pieces, but I'm not sure how easy that is really going to be to do. And then what I've got to do then is effectively stitch them together like that and make long strips of them. And then what I'll do is I'll then put the strips together, make a wider strip. And that hopefully will give me a bulk of wider strips I can then put together to make the actual bag shape. Now once I've actually got all those strips created, then I'll need something to actually put them onto. So I've actually got here what is effectively an old duvet cover, and what I'll do is once I've got my strips sort of sorted out, I'll know what sort of size they are, so then I can cut this into a bigger strip and sew that onto there. I can sort of sew around the edges. I can effectively sort of patchwork quilting is what I'm doing. And my idea as well is that once I've stitched it to this piece, that'll form its basic backing to help it all stay steady in one place. And then afterwards I'm then going to actually sew this onto the back of it, which is another duvet cover. This will be cut up again into the strips to form the backing of that. So this bit you'll actually see on the back of it, and the squares will be on the front, so that'll be on the outside, and this will be on the inside, and then I'll be able to make that bag. At that point I'll be able to also do the sort of quilting sort of effect where you stitch along and make that sort of, you know what I mean, quilted effect. If anybody out there is a quilter know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who are not quilters, you're probably as clueless as I am, actually. So there we go. But I'm sure it'll actually come together quite well in the end. And then once I've created all those panels, it's just a case of putting them all together. So I better get on, get more cutting out, because I still got a huge bag, as you saw, to cut out more squares. And then what I'll do is I'll start creating some strips and just see how far that takes me. And at some point I suppose it will start coming together, but we'll see. Now the bits I've got left, which are like this, I'm just cutting these up then after that, and turn them into really small bits, into bits I can just put into here that I'll probably use for stuffing. Really, is what they're probably best for. I've already got quite a big bag because I've already done quite a bit of chopping up, and then any bits that are really bitty, like these bits here, well, these aren't really good for anything, so they will go in the bin. So eventually I'll have a big pile of squares, pile of this that I'll cut into here, and the dregs that go into the bin. And yeah, I wonder how long it'll take to get down this bag. Now I was going to record some footage of me sewing some of these squares up, but you know what, I thought that'll just be really boring. See what I mean? Having put my squares together, they are 3 across by 7 down, so it's quite a nice bit of length in that, enough for a big bag. I'm going to do 5 panels. So the first thing is to put some other backing onto this to help give it some thickness. So that's backing number 1. It's just a piece of duvet cover that I cut out. So what I'll do is stitch this along the edge nice and carefully so it's close to the edge. So once it's stitched up fully, that'll be in the seam allowance. Like this one, which I've now stitched up. So that's nice and neat around the edge, but I've still got this edge piece here that needs trimming off, so I'll get and trim that. Like so, and there you go, all nice and neatly done, so it's a nice panel. There is going to be another backing piece on here on the back of this that you'll see from the other side, and when I put that on, what I will do is I'll do, you know, I suppose a bit of quilting stuff, sort of stitch across diagonally. So I'll be stitching across the squares diagonally one way and the other to give a cross sort of pattern to help hold it all together. Then each panel will be ready to put together. So having done the first layer and created that on the back there, I'm actually putting a second layer on. So effectively I've got 3 layers of material. So this will be the back of it. This will be effectively the inside of my scrap bag. Yeah, and this is what I'm going to do now with the quilting part, where I'm going to stitch across diagonally across the whole thing and in the other direction to give me that sort of diamond pattern. So 5 panels like this to do. So better get on with it and then see how that comes out. So that's 1 panel completed. Patchwork on one side and like old duvet cover with it's just like butterflies and bees on it on that side, and this will be the inside of the scrap bag, and this will be what's on the outside. And I have stitched it across. I don't know if you can really see that. I've done it in purple thread just to be contrasting. Didn't really matter. Are any of my lines particularly straight? No, I've eyeballed it, so They're a bit wonky, but as long as it sort of creates the effect that I want. Don't know if it would sit better on the back. No, probably not, but there we go. So yeah, one panel, 4 more to go, and then I'll be able to start putting the panels together. And then I'll have to think about the top and bottom, especially a bottom anyway for it. So yeah, still quite a bit to do. Now I've got all my panels made, I've got 5 of them here, and I've now got to sew them together down along this longer edge. Now these are actually starting to get a bit thick, and I actually don't have a walking foot, so this is going to be interesting in putting these together. One thing I have learnt though from doing bags, which can be quite bulky, is to use a heavier needle. But I'm actually going to use a jeans needle because I find that these have got a little bit more punch through to get through all these layers. I will have to think about possibly how I'm going to fix 2 layers together, because I've got about, once you've got 2 of these together, there's about 6 layers or more that I've got to get through. And I don't want them to be shifting while I'm doing it, so it's either some pinning or maybe some tacking first before I actually sew them up. Well, I've got all my panels together, all sewn up, so I've got this one big long continuous piece that will create quite a huge bag really, but I suppose it is replacing what is effectively a bin bag type thing, so I do want it to be quite large. What I've got to do now is work out what size I need to make for a top and a bottom, especially the bottom. I've got to get that in, so I have to do a little bit of math and work out what size I need to make up from some more squares. Get that all put together and then see about fixing it in there. So a little bit more work to do. Well, I've now made a base piece. It's a nice big circle, and I've just pinned it in. So this is going to be, it's going to be one big ass bag. I suppose it is replacing, well, a bin bag really. So yeah, it's going to be substantial size really. So I'll be able to get a lot of scraps in it because I've got a lot of scraps. But it's not the idea really, is it? Should make a smaller bag, so I'll make sure I have less scraps. But never mind. Just need to get this stitched in. I've got it pinned in, so sew that in, and then almost there. Now I've put the bottom in. So now I need to do the top as well. So it's all sort of fixed in, but obviously in the top I need to have some access. So I'm going to cut or sew in a channel. Basically I'm going to sew a long channel in, then cut the middle out, and then turn, because this is right size together, then I'll turn it through so that I can then do the sort of crisscross quilting thing on there. But then I'll have a nice big channel in the middle that I can easily get my arm in, and the scraps. Now I've got the top made with a big slot in it, so I can actually put stuff in and grab stuff out. I've made it as a slot, so it sort of stops stuff from sort of falling out, as it were. Not that I should have it that full, but it probably will be. But you know, there you go. Managed to make it round, properly round. So I just need to sew it in, and it'll be done. And here we are, finally, one huge bag. Yeah, it's massive. But then the idea is that this would replace what is effectively a bin bag, like a green garden bin bag. But I've made one that's basically the same sort of size, which does sound a bit mad really, because I'm thinking, well, the idea is that I have less scraps, so I don't need such a big bag. So if I fill this up, I've just got the same problem but in a different bag. But well, there you go. But yeah, it's come out quite nice. Took quite a bit of work. It is, as it were, quilted because it's double and triple layered with all these squares. It's round. I managed to make a round base for it, which was a bit of a pain really to put in, but it did go in, and a round top. But the top, if I can show this, does have a huge slot in there, so I can actually get stuff in and out. It's almost a sleeping bag, isn't it? Could almost get in that. My goodness, it's quite big. So yeah, why so big really? Well, just so you can get a scale of my problem, this is my new scrap bag, which you can see is sort of about the same size as this this bin bag really. So all these scraps I've still got. Not to mention this bag I've got of stuff that I've already sort of cut up into really little bits that I could use for stuffing cushions or like bolsters. Like if you want a little draft excluder thing, you can put in front of the doorway, which I really do need around in my house. It's a bit drafty. Yeah, so I've still got lots of scraps. It almost feels like that, even though I've made a scrap bag, out of my scraps, I feel like I've got more scraps left over than what I started with. Who knows, eh? Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, I think. But there you go. Never mind. One scrap bag made out of scraps that I've cut into squares, and I shall fill this up. And I suppose really when I go through this, I've got a lot of stuff that really is just very small bitty pieces that really I can only cut up into small stuffing pieces, and a lot of it isn't much good for anything else. So really I will have to go through this bag properly, put a lot in this bag, chop a load of stuff up, and see what I can get rid of. But yeah, one finished scrap bag. So I suppose I better get and sort out my scraps properly, get some into my scrap bag, and get rid of any stuff that I don't actually need. So there we go, one scrap bag in quilting fashion. It was actually not too bad to do, and I did enjoy it, even though it took a lot longer than I'd expected. But there you go. I suppose when you're doing stuff that you're not used to, it does take a lot of time. So there you go, that's my big scrap bag made from scraps. Not that it seems to have reduced my scraps very much, but there you go. And the original inspiration for that being from a video from Anna from the Pattern Pouch Nest that I'd seen, and that gave me the inspiration to make that bag the way I did, which is it's useful. It'll serve a purpose. Moving on from that, well, what else have I done? Not a lot. I've done a bit of sewing. Sorry, not sewing. I have done sewing. I've also done some knitting. I've actually bought some more tools and pieces for knitting because I want to try and develop my skills on that. So what I've done is I've got a bunch of, these are what they call circular needles. You know, you get a needle and then you get like a piece that joins it there. I would say a cord, but they're plastic of some sort, so you can knit in the round, as they call it. So I was going to have a go at that. So I bought a couple of sets and bits and some extra bits, so I've got a whole load there. This is a fixed one, because these ones are interchangeable, so you can change the needle and the length for whatever suits. And this is a fixed one for some big chunky wool, which I've had a go at. I did buy some wool as well, because I thought, well, if I bought needles, I'm going to need something to knit with. So I bought some wool. I've got this one, which is a baby bonus. It's a 100-gram one. It's a really nice colour. I can't remember what this colour was. Baby denim it was. And then this one, which feels a little bit thicker, but it's about the same. Some decaf, I think that means double knit. And this one was it ochre? Taupe, that was it. The colour was taupe. And the final one being this lovely purple, super chunky knit stuff, which is called Neon. So I'll have a go at maybe making some more snoods with this stuff. So yeah, just a little bit of extra materials to have a go at. So, you know, as the nights are colder and darker and whatnot, I'll probably do something a little more, as it were, sedate, like knitting, rather than being up and about and trying to do sewing and that, because I always need more light when I'm doing the sewing. So in the evenings it's not so easy, but if I've got a good lamp when I'm doing or practicing my knitting, that's a bit easier to deal with, I think. So yeah, so some more tools and wool for knitting. So what have I got to talk about life-wise? Not a lot really. Nothing really seems to change much. I know I quite like it that way, really. Not too much change, so nothing really to say about that. Been to see a couple of friends this week, just to sort of catch up, because I know that obviously once it sort of gets nearer to the Christmas time, there'll be a lot less chance to actually go and see people, because they'll all be busy until just before Christmas, more than likely, and then it feels like you're in a rush to try and go and see everybody. So I have met up with a couple of friends this week, and that's been really enjoyable, really helpful to have a a good natter about stuff and just talk about anything and nothing really. But yeah, that's about it really. That's what I've done otherwise. Now, I would just like to say thank you to everybody who commented back to my post that I'd put on the Facebook Friday Sews Central. That was also created by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, so we can all come together and have a good natter. We're in there and talk and discuss about things. I put a post on because I asked some advice on some wool blend that I bought, and about washing it, cleaning it, drying it, getting it ready so I can use it. I had quite a few number of comments on there, so just like to say thank you for everybody's comments in that. And really, I suppose that's about it for this week. Nothing else to really say about. So please, if you like this video, please do give it a click on the like button, subscribe, and that way you'll get notification of when all my videos come out. Comments are most welcome. I really do like reading your comments. It's nice to see what you're talking about and discussing what I've put up my videos, and you can discuss amongst yourselves as well in the comments if you'd like. So it just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching my video, and I look forward to seeing my next video. Bye. Bye.